Hello, and welcome to Read Us a Story. What shall we read today? How about The Worst Princess by Anna Kemp and Sarah Ogilvie. Once upon a time, in a tower near you, lived a lonely princess, the Princess Sue.
Someday, she sighed, my prince will come, but I wish he'd move his royal bum. I've waited for 100 years. I'm getting stiff. I'm bored to tears. I've read the books. I know the score. I've grown my plaits down to the floor. I really need to get some air to see the world and cut my hair.
Then, just as Sue was about to scream, a prince appeared. 'Twas like a dream. "Oh, princess, pretty as a pea, I've journeyed far to rescue thee. I fought, I won, I shocked, I awed. You should have seen me swing my sword. I've slain all kinds of vicious foe."
That's fab, said Sue. Now can we go? Your true love's kiss should do the trick. So pucker up and kiss me quick.
They charged off on a dashing steed.
Whoopee!
cried Sue.
At last I'm freed. Today I start my happy end.
But then she saw around the bend.
Where are we going, Prince, my love?
"Back to my castle, turtle dove, my perfect peach, my precious flower. You have a penthouse in the tower."
I'd rather ride a horse, said Sue, and do all kinds of fun stuff too.
"Too bad," said Prince. "You know the rules. Didn't you listen at Princess School? It's me who wears the armour, dear. Oh, you wear dresses, are we clear? Just smile a lot and twist your curls. Dragon bashing's not for girls." Alone in her tower, Sue started to spit.
What a disaster! My prince is a twit.
Then in the skies she suddenly spied a fearsome dragon with flashing eyes. She didn't run. She had no fear. Instead, she had a bright idea.
Hey, you, she called, with the scary claws. Fancy some tea for your fancy fiery jaws?
"Oh, yes," said Dragon. "What a relief. No pesky prince has given me grief."
"Me too," said Sue. "This sneaky rascal has locked me in this stupid castle."
"The rotter," gasped Dragon. "That just won't do. We need to teach him a thing or two." The dragon sniffed some nasal spray, then blew the tower clean away. "Princess Sue, that's quite enough." The prince was back, and in a huff. "Where's your tower? Just look at your dress. You really are the worst princess. Also, Susan, beg your pardon, why's there a dragon in my garden?"
"Perhaps I am the worst princess,"
laughed Princess Sue.
"My hair's a mess, my tower's a wreck, but I don't care. I've booked a flight with Dragon Air."
The dragon sniffed, then, with two snorts, set alight the princely shorts. From that day on, the newfound friends toured the land from end to end, making mischief left and right for royal twits and naughty knights.
"You know,"
said Sue, as they drank their tea,
"we're a great team,
you and me." The dragon's belly shook with laughter, and they both lived happily ever after. And that was The Worst Princess. About the Three Little Pigs and the Big Bad Book by Lucy Rowland and Ben Mantle. Ben was a boy who liked stories at night. A good bedtime tale made everything right. Stories of knights and of horses that leap, of wizards and fairies, they helped Ben to sleep. The Three Little Pigs was his best one of all, till the night that some rather strange guests came to call. They'd got to page 7, or maybe page 6. 2 pigs had built houses of straw and of sticks. The third little pig was all ready to go when Mum's mobile rang in her office below. Ben's mum said, "Oh dear, now who could that be?" "I won't be a minute, I'd better go see." Ben patiently waited.
"I can't sleep,"
he said. He waited some more as he wriggled in bed.
"The story's not finished. We're not halfway through. I'll read it myself. That's the best thing to do."
But Ben found the words weren't exactly behaving. Then, outside the window, he saw someone waving. "Hello," said a pig as he clambered right in and scratched at the hairs on his chinny chin chin. "I'm sorry to bother you, really I am, but I'm finding myself in a bit of a jam." "The story's not finished," the little pig squeaked, "and I won't get to sleep now until it's complete." Ben told him what happened and showed him the book. Pig number 1 was just having a look, when outside the window, well, who should Ben see but pig number 2, and then pig number 3. The second pig said, "I've a house made of sticks, but what about him? All he has is some bricks. Our houses are ready, but what about his? The story's not done. We can't sleep till it is." Ben said,
"I can't read it. The words are all squiggly."
The second pig said, "Yes, indeed, far too wiggly."
"I've not got my glasses, you see,"
said the third.
"Without them, I'm sorry, I can't read a word."
They started to argue, and Ben felt quite glum. He stared at the pages. Oh, where was his mum? "That's that," said the first pig. "We're stuck on page 7. His eyes grew quite wide as he found page 11. "The wolf!" they all gasped, and they suddenly knew that it wouldn't be long until he'd be here too. Just then came a creak from the old garden gate.
"Uh-oh,"
said the third pig.
"I think we're too late."
"Little pigs," the wolf bellowed, "please may I come in?"
"No, not by the hairs on our chinny chin chins."
The pigs grunted down. "You're not coming inside." "But I'd like to be friends now," the sorry wolf sighed.
"Go away,"
the pigs squealed. "We're not coming down." The wolf huffed and puffed and soon started to frown. Then he spotted the chimney, his old favourite trick. The pigs had a plan. "Ben, we need a pot, quick!" They hurriedly set up their trap in the kitchen, while inside the chimney the wolf's nose was twitching. He sighed to himself, "I've been here before." Then he shouted, "This ending again? Are you sure? I'm ever so tired of playing this game," he called to the pigs. "Don't you feel the same?" "Perhaps," the wolf panted, "if I make amends, then maybe, instead, we could try being friends." "Friends?" the pigs asked, as the wolf lost his grip. "Friends!" cried the wolf as he started to slip. The wolf toppled down. Yes, he skidded and stumbled. "That pot will be hot!" howled the wolf as he tumbled. He took a deep breath and he curled up his feet. Then he fell with a on a soft cotton sheet. The three little pigs asked him, "Are you all right?" "I'm fine," said the wolf, though he had quite a fright. Just then a voice saying, "Bye," from the hall. At last! Mum had finished her telephone call. Ben hugged his book tight. He was pleased as could be as he looked from the wolves to pigs 1, 2, and 3. The story was finished, and now time for bed. Or time for one very last story instead. And that was The Three Little Pigs and the Big Bad Book. Good Little Wolf by Nadia Shireen. Are we all sitting comfortably? Then let's begin. Rolf and Mrs. Boggins were best friends.
You really are a good little wolf,
Mrs. Boggins told him. Rolf liked being a good little wolf. He liked baking tasty cakes, he ate up all his vegetables, and he was always nice to his friends. But Mrs. Boggins also said that not all wolves were good. In fact, some were downright bad. Rolf hoped he would never bump into a big, bad wolf. Now, what do we have here? Said the big, bad wolf. You, look like a wolf, and, you feel like a wolf. You smell like a wolf.
That's because I am a wolf,
piped up Rolf.
I'm a very good little wolf.
Good, said the big, bad wolf. Wolves aren't good. Wolves are big and bad. Real wolves howl at the moon, hooted the big bad wolf. Real wolves blow houses in. Real wolves eat people up.
Well,
said Rolf,
I am a real wolf, and I'm sure I can't do all those things.
So Rolf tried to howl at the moon. He pursed his lips, took a deep breath, and then out came a great big whistle. Then Rolf went to see Little Pig.
Do you mind if I blow your house in?
Asked Rolf. You can try, I suppose, said Little Pig. So he huffed and he puffed, but it was no use. I'm sorry, Rolf, said Little Pig.
You're right,
said Rolf sadly.
I'm just not bad enough to be a real wolf.
Well, there is one last thing you can do to prove you're a proper wolf, said the big, bad wolf. And suddenly, something quite strange came over Rolf. He felt an unfamiliar, wild feeling growing inside of him. Rolf had never felt more like a wolf.
See? I am a proper wolf. I just happen to be a good little wolf," said Rolf. "Oh, this calls for a celebration," cried Mrs. Boggins, and they all sat down for some tea and cake. "Will you stop eating people up, Big Bad Wolf?" asked Rolf.
"Oh, I suppose so," said the Big Bad Wolf. "I'll stop first thing tomorrow." The end. There he is. He's okay. And that was Good Little Wolf, about Little Red Riding Hood. Once there was a girl who had a lovely red coat with a red hood. People called her Little Red Riding Hood. One day her mother put some cakes in a basket. "Granny's ill," she said. "Why don't you go and see her?" So Little Red Riding Hood set off with the cakes. "Stay on the path and don't talk to strangers," warned her mum. Little Red Riding Hood reached the woods and saw some beautiful flowers. She wandered off the path to pick some for her granny. As soon as she left the path, she met a wolf. "What's in your basket?" he asked sweetly. "Cakes for my granny," answered Little Red Riding Hood. "Where does your granny live?" the wolf asked. "Further along the path," replied Little Red Riding Hood, "in a little cottage." While Little Red Riding Hood picked some flowers, the wolf hurried along the path. When Little Red Riding Hood arrived at Granny's cottage, she called out, "Granny, it's me." "Come in, dear. The door's open," wheezed Granny. She was tucked up in bed with the curtains closed. "Granny, what big ears you have," said Little Red Riding Hood. "All the better to hear you with, my dear," Granny whispered. "Granny, what big eyes you have," said Little Red Riding Hood. "All the better to see you with, my dear," said Granny. "Granny, what big teeth you have," said Little Red Riding Hood. "All the better to eat you with," snarled Granny, leaping out of bed. "Help!" Little Red Riding Hood cried. It wasn't Granny at all. It was the Big Bad Wolf, and he wanted to gobble her up. The horrible wolf chased her round and round the cottage. "Help! Help!" Little Red Riding Hood shouted. Luckily, a woodcutter heard her calling and ran to see what all the noise was about. The woodcutter saw the wolf and raised his axe. The wolf took one look and jumped out of the window. "Oh, thank you," said Little Red Riding Hood. "You saved my life." "You must never, ever talk to wolves," said the woodcutter. "What is that knocking?" Little Red Riding Hood rushed over to open the wardrobe where the knocking was coming from. She found Granny safe and well. The wolf had shut her inside. "Goodness, thank you," Granny said to Little Red Riding Hood and gave her a big hug. Little Red Riding Hood put the kettle on, and they all had cake and a nice cup of cocoa. And Little Red Riding Hood never strayed off the path in the woods again. And that was Little Red Riding Hood about The Wolves Who Came for Dinner by Steve Smallman and Joël Dredemy.
Wolf and Hot Pot were the very best of friends, but the other animals who lived in the forest were worried. They just couldn't understand how a wolf and a lamb could get along. "Is that a lamb and a wolf? Together? Oh, he'll gobble her up." "Let's invite the bunnies for a play date," suggested Wolf.
Yippee!
Cheered Hot Pot. So they spent all morning baking carrot cupcakes. But when Wolf opened the door and said, "Tea time," all the rabbits ran away. "Quick, hop it! It's the big bad wolf!" "Ah!" Wolf sat down on the doorstep. "But I'm not a bad wolf," he sighed. "I'm a good wolf." "Good wolf," agreed Hot Pot. "Playtime now?" "Yes," cried Wolf, "and if the bunnies won't come to us, we'll go to them." "Maybe they'll let us join their game," Wolf whispered. But when they tried to play hide and seek, "It's that wolf again! Hide! He'll gobble us up! Run away!" Wolf couldn't understand why the only animal he found was Hot Pot. "Your friends are just too good at hiding," sighed Wolf. "Looks like it's just you and me." "Hop, Pop and Wolf!" beamed Hot Pot and gave him a big hug. "I know," cried Wolf. "We'll invite my friends over to meet you, Hot Pot." But when Gripper, Nipper and Growler arrived, they were starving. "Yummy! We'll have Hot Pot," they cried, licking their lips. "Yes, well, I love Hot Pot too," said Wolf crossly, "and that's why you can't eat her. Now, how about some vegetable soup?" Delicious." After dinner, Wolf read them a story. Hot Pot held Gripper's hand when it got to the scary parts, and by the end, they were all snuggled up together, fast asleep. But things didn't always go quite so well, like the day Wolf and Hot Pot were playing by the river. "Don't worry," said Wolf, holding Hot Pot tightly. "I've got you." "That wolf's got that lamb! Oh, he'll gobble her up!" "Oh no!" the woodland creatures cried. "We have to help her!" "Leave her alone!" the animals yelled. Wolf was so surprised, he fell into the river with a splash. "You're safe now. Come back, Wolf!" Hot Pot helped Wolf out the water. "No paddling time, Wolf, no!" she said. "Tea time!" Wolf sighed, and, taking Hot Pot's paw, he squelched sadly home. "Oh no, he's got her again! We have to do something!" But when they arrived, Gripper, Nipper and Growler were waiting by the door. "I told you," Wolf said, "you can't eat Hot Pot." "We know," called Gripper, "but could we have another story? And a sleepover," added Nipper and Growler. Wolf smiled and let them in. And after more delicious soup, silly stories, and bedtime snuggles, everyone fell fast asleep. Everyone, that is, except the brave woodland creatures gathered outside. "We must save the lamb! Oh, they'll gobble her up!" "We'll rush in on the count of 3, declared Fox. 1, 2, 3! The woodland creatures burst in, but "Ow!" An eerie howl stopped them in their tracks. It was Hot Pot. She gave the animals a hard stare and said, "Not hurt my wolf! No!" "Would it help if we ate some of them?" suggested Growler. "No! Not hurt my friends," answered Hot Pot crossly. Everyone looked a bit sheepish, till Wolf said, "How lovely to have so many visitors. Sleep over, anyone?" So everyone settled down in the warm glow of the fire, and Wolf told them a story about making friends that was funny and exciting and a little bit scary. And at the end, like in most good stories, they all lived happily ever after. And that was The Wolves Who Came for Dinner.